Hello, Jack. You haven't been around for long. It's been a while since you've been here, I guess. Adarsh. That's the first time. That's the first time that you're here, Adarsh, right? Right, right. Hello, dear. Your name is. It's like, I think I'm just seeing it first time. I believe it's your first time here on the live talks. Really? So how did I miss this name? I would have remembered it at Dash. Okay, anyhow, welcome that you're here. Jack says, I'm glad I broke up with my ex. It's been 6 months and I'm in shape, working out and training in jiu-jitsu. It's great, so there is a silver lining in everything. Good. I know I wouldn't be where I am. Hello, Ross. Hola. Vivian, bien. I guess Vebian? How do you respond to that? Hola, Mehran, ¿cómo está? Male 30 UK. Okay. And Mark, I think. Ratfather. I think it's Mark, right? Is it? Hi, Mehran, 36 from Central New York. Central New York. Jack says, I wouldn't be where I am if I was still with her. Yes, that's right. Adar says, I'm not able to trust my present because of my trust was broken in the past. It's been very hard for me. Can you help? Yes. You shouldn't think that you need an assurance or a contract before you want to be associating or be friend with people or girls as a girlfriend or possible candidate for that. There is no such thing as a contract for you to have this psychological security. I have trust. How could you have trust? Trust for what? Trust is built over time. It's not something that you can ask for it or expect it and will be given to you right when you meet someone. Trust is something that you will assess if they are capable of producing and bringing that to the relationship or not over time. And that can only come by experiencing each other's way of negotiating with life and things that you guys face, whether in the relationship or in your own other personal endeavors and things that you go through, and you will be witness of each other's way of dealing and reacting or interacting with or managing or negotiating with such circumstances, daily circumstances. It is not like something you can ask and be given. Even if somebody says, you know, or pretends or tells you that, oh, you can trust her and she will tell you all good things and her behaviors, but still it's just words. These are just communication, not facts. You want to turn implications or what intention shows and or what you think it is, you want to back it up, support it with facts. And that can come from interaction and her activities and behavior, manners, and the way she negotiates life and matters that happens over time. So first thing you got to do, get rid of this expectation that trust is something that some people give it, have it, you can trust them. No, you can't trust anybody. I'm not saying be negative about any relationship, not at all. But I'm saying you can't expect that trust to be given to you in the first few days or few months. It will accumulate. It's like a little bit today, a little bit the next day. You just see it comes. It's like you know, when you're cooking food, even you won't be putting the whole salt or the whole ingredients all at the same time. It'll be first maybe, I don't know, the onion you want to saute, then a little bit something else afterwards. That's done. Then something else. Then maybe if you eat meat, then the meat, or if not, you add them, because if you do it earlier, it won't taste good. It won't be the recipe you wanted. It wouldn't mesh well. So over time, little by little, then you can see the whole dish is good or not good. Pretty much, it's kind of a lame example, but that's all I could think right now. It's pretty much like trust. You can't simply think that the whole trust that you expect should be present and felt right at the outset. No, you're just beginning to make that dish. So you may feel a little bit of a trust from the behavior of that day, a little bit more because of something else that you guys experienced later on. And over time, then you will be the judge of it and see if there is trust or not. Otherwise, there is no relationship that from the outset you can say, oh, I can trust her, or she can trust the guy. Oh. So stop that expectations, you'll be fine. Just go through it and see what happens. And you know what? What is this business of thinking that you lost your trust? What do you mean? Not everybody's the same. What, you're going to go to a restaurant and have food and you get sick, and then you think all restaurants and all foods prepared can make you sick? I'm not going to eat anymore. I don't have trust in restaurants. Well, you can't treat everything with the same yardstick. So she may not have been a trustable person, or she turned out to be. The relationship went sour. But that doesn't mean all relationships are going to be like that. It doesn't mean that every girl is going to be like that or think that way. Everybody is different. So have an open mind. And that combination didn't work. You know, that combination didn't work. Doesn't mean no combination will work. You know? The formula wasn't correct between you two. But when the formula is correct, amazing things can happen between two elements that it's unlikely that by themselves they could actually be anything good. Like salt. Salt is made out of natrium, old name for sodium, and chlorine, chloride. Chlorine by itself is poison. It kills people. Well, when it's combined in a chemical reaction with natrium, sodium, Na, it becomes NaCl, salt, nourishment. So you must understand that it's about the chemical reaction, it's about compatibility, it's about bonding on consciousness, it's about the right mix, and then suddenly amazing things can happen. But you can't simply say, oh, that's chlorine and that's sodium, they're both poison, it's impossible. If they are actually combining in proper amounts and proper catalysts in right atmosphere, amazing things happen. So the same thing, you can't just say trust is gone. No, beautiful things can grow from, you know, shitty environment, unlikely environments, you know. So have hopes and be flexible and see what happens. I hope that helps you out. Okay, now 13 people here. Please, before you forget, click on like so we can be visible by the algorithm of YouTube later on when I upload it. And if you haven't, if it's the first time you're here, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click on the bell so every time we go live you'll be notified. And of course, enjoy over 1,200 videos that we have on the channel at the moment, and you know, counting. So Rodfather says, hi Mehran 36 from Central New York. Okay, I got that one. Ross says, muy bien. Okay, good, thank you. Thank you. Muy bien. ¿Qué tal? Muy bien, ¿qué tal? I don't know what the ¿qué tal means here. Maybe you can educate me a little bit on that. Ralph said hello. Raf says hello, hello. Whisper says hello from Santa Cruz. Oh, Whisper, yes, says hello from Santa Cruz. I thought you were telling me I have to whisper. I pulled that one once before, didn't I? So, Alexandra says, hi dear. Hello, Alexandra. I can't stop thinking about my ex, she says. Well, you can. You just don't want to. Because saying I can't, that's not right. You can. You just think it's more pleasant if you do, or if you wonder and things like that. I know this subject had been discussed by you from all the possible angles, but I find myself helpless. Well, when you dub yourself helpless, then you will be helpless. But when you simply says, no, I can do this, and simply I'm not going to let my mind be occupied with that. I simply won't entertain the thoughts. Because mind likes to think, likes to conjure up things, run with a suggestion or an idea or an image or whatever. But it is up to you to say, I don't want to entertain it. I don't want to produce anything. I don't want to let my mind run with anything. I want to focus on something that is, I know it's relaxing, or it's appropriate, or if it's positive, or if it's in harmony with my nature. So I'm just not going to entertain it. Then you're in the driver's seat. Otherwise, no. Whisper says California. All right. Jack says, I've realized that you don't need someone else to make you happy. Good. You didn't have to wait that long. You just watch the videos that I've talked about this. That could have been. You make yourself happy, and you find a partner who compliments you and doesn't complete you. Look, very good. Okay. The key is you have to find your happiness first before a relationship. If you go into a relationship to become happy, if the two who get involved in a relationship each are getting into the relationship so they will find happiness, that's a recipe for disaster. Because then you're there to see what you can get and never focus on what you can give. And your expectations from a relationship would be unreasonable, unrealistic. You're there for a purpose of being happy because you couldn't find happiness within yourself. So you're now in control or looking for handouts or at the mercy of the partner if he or she will behave or treat you in such a way that brings you happiness, because you have dubbed yourself incapable of being happy. First, go and find your happiness, meaning understand what happiness is for you, accomplish yourself, be confident and be at peace with yourself, then go try to build a relationship. Relationship is not for you to go in there so you can be happy because you couldn't be happy by yourself. Relationship is there to build something. A relationship. Not, I'm unhappy, so the answer to my unhappiness or lack of accomplishment is relationship, is intimacy, it's sex, it's physical pleasure, it's fulfilling my desires, it's attending to my ego, fluffing my ego. These are all the wrong ways that one tries to negotiate their life. You cannot bring stability, accomplishment through physical experiences in life, such as pleasure, sex, relationship. These are all physical. Peace of mind, happiness is all a state of mind. So you need to focus on how I go learn about that. rather than hoping that a relationship or pleasure, sex, intimacy, buying things would bring you that state of mind of psychological security, happiness, contentment, and confidence, and all that, so forth. Once you understand that, then you're one step ahead. Lord Simon. That reminds me of the Simon Templar. It was a series when I was a kid, and Roger Moore was the star. It was a series on TV. He was this kind of a agent character and solving mysteries and so on. And, you know. So Lord Simon must be from that inspired you, that maybe series inspired your screen name. Simon says, I am 19 and I come from Italy. Buongiorno. Or buonasera, maybe. I recently broke up with my girlfriend, he says, because her obsessive behavior. She was 16. Oh, you've got no business being with a 16-year-old at age 19. What do you expect? She's still grown up. She's not even of legal age. Do not hang around young girls just because you just became, finished a teenage life and you still think of yourself as 17 or 18-year-old. No, no longer. 16-year-old is very young. And first of all, I don't think it's a legal age, so you should be very careful if you're having a courting with a mature girl at legal age, or if she's still considered a minor. So these are important, that you do not want to approach or pursue someone who is that young. If you were 16, maybe that would be understandable, but not when you're 19. A 16-year-old still has a different mentality, maybe different expectations. It doesn't know much about these sort of things. Leave that to 16 or 17-year-olds. Do not pursue girls who are, not of legal age. That must be your principle. So it's good that you ended this relationship, and I hope that was at least it was confirmed or authorized by her parents to know about this sort of relationships. But my suggestion to you is that you're 19 years old now, and do not pursue or be interested in girls who are not of legal age. I don't know, legal age there is 18 or 19, I'm not sure, but whatever it is, adhere to that. All right. Sushant Kumar says, my ex wants to be back, but I'm not sure about getting back again. How to decide? How to make good decision? Please help. Suggest any book, if any. Well, this answer is not in a book. This answer is in your head. Number one, the rule here is that when you guys want to ask a question, you got to let me know where you're tuning in from. So that will tell me a little bit about your culture or background, or at least some idea where you are, what you've been exposed to, or it helps me for delivery. How old you are, that helps me again. And how old is your ex that you're talking about? And where does she come from? This sort of information is helpful when I want to kind of analyze it for myself and to come up with some kind of a answer in a better package as far as delivery is concerned. So she wants to come back. You gotta find out, you don't want her now because she has accepted to come back. Was there a time that you wanted her to come back and she wasn't? You were hoping that she would come back to you, and you were thinking about it. But now that some time has passed, or she has accepted to come back, suddenly she's no longer that priority or that hot for you, because she's already given in, she's already accepted. And sometimes when we get something, suddenly we think it doesn't worth much because now I got it. Now, since it's so easy to get it, maybe it's not that hot anyhow, so I don't want it now. You know, it's like, without demeaning anybody or having any kind of a funny underlying, this is just a way to deliver or make something clear. Let's say you're going to buy something in a bazaar or some store, and the price is, I don't know, the seller says, oh, it's this handbag or this garment is $100, and you say, no, I want it for, you know, $60, and he says no, and then you start walking out. You know, you say, what, why, you know, and he says no, and you say, why not? He says no again, and you start walking out, and the guy says, okay, I'll give it to you for $80, and you say, you just keep walking. Now he says 70, and you keep walking. He says 50. You still keep walking, even though it's the price that you were willing to pay for it. Why? Because you see that the guy, the seller, is now motivated. He's just giving. He wants to sell, and then suddenly you doubt yourself. Oh, I'm getting what I wanted. Maybe it wasn't a good decision because I'm getting it, and it's no longer difficult. So maybe it's not really that valuable or worthy. You doubt your own mind. And maybe in this case is also the same. You wanted her to come back. It didn't happen. Now that she's coming back, you're saying, oh, well, now I have this. So when I have it, it's not a challenge anymore. Maybe I shouldn't. So you got to figure out really what is it that you may want or not want that relationship. What are things compatible with you guys? What kind of a bonding or consciousness both of you enjoy or can share? Focus on those common grounds, if there is any. And the rest of it. What is her qualification? What is your qualification? What are you bringing into the relationship? What is she bringing to the table? Is it just, I don't know, just because you guys are young, or what is it? What is your purpose to want to be with her, and what is her motivation to want to be with you? If you guys understand this, that will help you to figure out what it is that you should be doing. Jack says, oh, okay. You're talking to Alexandra. Raf says, hello from UK. First night in my new place. First time living alone after marriage. Excited for the future. That's my own. Very good. Mark 34. Excellent. Excellent. You're on your way. But don't expect that happiness would mean lots of fun and pleasure and this and that. Just harmony. Relax in life. Choose good people around you. Choose good activities. Shun negative energies. People who are of not a good caliber, that do not match your lifestyle and your way of thinking and your manners or expectations of standards of life or standards of interaction with society. Clear and clean the surrounding of yours. Create that atmosphere where you can actually grow and develop with peace and with good feelings, with knowing that you've got a good circle around you, rather than troubled kind of people around you. So, all the best for you. Whisper says, I have to thank you so much for your videos. It's only been a month and a half. The divorce is not even final, yet your advice to focus on someone else instead of the person I can't have has helped. Very good. met someone online and finding out there are way better matches for me than that person. Just be careful. This is not your scapegoat. This is not the way to cover up something that you have not gotten to the bottom of it, as far as realizing logically, reasoning with yourself, why is it that you can clearly be okay and accept this divorce? Because of the quality of the relationship, differences in consciousness and life goals, and so on and so forth. Be okay with that, then pursue another one. Not to distract yourself in order to not to deal with understanding why you should be okay and accepting this breakup and this divorce. Deal with that, then free yourself, and then choose based on what your expectations and standards and so on and so forth is. Not based on something that you can hang on to this branch and feel secure because you're hanging on something. I don't care what it is I'm hanging on to, but as long as something to hold me from falling. That shouldn't be your motivation to think that this is the right choice or not. Secondly, don't put all your hopes in some new relationship because it's just new. You have all the good intentions, but it may or may not be the caliber or the quality that you have been hoping or expecting or thought it would be. So go slow, gentle. Don't suddenly, qualify that person just because you need to qualify somebody in order to feel whole again, because I have replaced that what is missing in my life with somebody else, so it's all good. As long as you're aware of these and you take it slow, let her prove herself to you while you prove yourself to her. Be true to each other and let the time actually help you to get to know about each other a little bit more. Then you feel like, okay, that's something I can pursue further, rather than thinking, oh, good, I feel good, therefore it's the right choice. Many things can make you feel good, but doesn't necessarily mean that's the right choice. Some people are not like you to look for healthy choices after divorce. They may go into drugs or alcohol and stuff like that. And they could feel good. But just because they're feeling good from the effects of those stuff, that doesn't mean those stuff are good or good for you, good for them. So be aware that what makes you feel good is not necessarily good for you. You gotta look into the qualities, gotta look into the outlook of it, effects of it, in the long run, what it does, what brings in for that good feeling that it gives you. What is it that is getting a hold of? The powers that you're releasing into the hands of, let's say, drinks or alcohol or drugs or some kind of a weird activity or whatever it may be. Is that something that you actually should do, to give up your control, give up your, your powers? Because to feel good, you're giving up something. Whether it's time and energy that you put into sports, good stuff, then you get the feeling, a good feeling of the sports that you're active in or the relationship that you started. These are what you gain and what you give out. And the bad stuff, you're giving lots of your health, the control of your mind, your relaxation, your stability, your balance, and you get all these substances of toxins and all that. What are you giving up for that feeling good? The trade-off. You say, holy shit, I'm not willing to part with any part of my health to get any good feeling of any kind of shit that it is to do with alcohol or drugs or things or activities that are just not right, not good. So you got to be aware of that. Now, let me read the rest. And says, this is great work. Your technique of focusing and controlling your thoughts and memories, he helped tremendous. Okay, that I understand. That's good. That's good. If that's how you've gotten out of it, that's good. That you have understood the role of your thoughts, fear, desire, ego, and how to understand what it is and why is it that you feel the way you did. And seeing it all clear helps you to separate yourself from pursuit of pleasure to feel good versus what is good for me. Good for you. Now, Jack Gowl says, Jiu-Jitsu brings you to the present. Yes, you got to be in the present. Otherwise, before you know it, you're on the ground, on the floor. Bang. You can't be anywhere else, neither in the past nor in the future. You got to be right there with seeing what's happening and what you should be doing. Efforts equal to being present. If you focus on an outcome of anything, you're either in the future and occupied with that, or you're in the past. You're focusing on how the outcome was, or you're focusing on how the outcome of something will be. So you're neither in the future, you're nor in the past. Of course, you're either in the future or in the past, but you're not here because you're focusing on the outcome. If you focus on the effort that you're putting for any kind of an outcome, but your focus is on the effort, that's when you are one with the present. That's when you're with the now. When you're running and you're making an effort to make that run happen, you're with the now. You're with the life, actuality of life, with the freedom and the living life. But when you're thinking about, what if I lose, the outcome? What if I win? Should I win? Your focus will be somewhere which has nothing to do with the effort necessary to actually bring about the outcome that you desire. So your focus on doing anything should always be on the effort. First of all, make sure you focus on it. You do a good job, whatever it is. Second, your whole energy would be on it. You will do a better job. Third, you're actually focus on accomplishing something, and you will be with the present moment, with the actual life, because you're focused on the effort. And effort is happening that very moment. It's not a past and it's not a future. Effort is now. So, as long as you do that, and Jiu-Jitsu certainly is one of them, that you should do that. You can't be thinking about exes when someone is trying to choke you out. Yes, that's right. That's absolutely right. All right. Jesse says, hi, Mehran. Guten Tag, Jesse. But you're in Netherlands, right? But you understand. Female 23, Netherlands. Because my parents weren't there for me in my youth, I often have feelings of loneliness. Having to do life on my own and feeling unloved and empty. How can I change this? Well, you got to change this by thinking the truth. The truth is your mom and dad are part of this universe. They actually did not give you life. Universe gave you life through your mom and dad. Therefore, the actual love comes from the universe, which chose to give you life, to be the one that you will be born. So you're already part of the whole, part of the universe, and loved by the universe. Because that's where the real love is. Your parents themselves that you're seeking love and attention from them are actually loved by the universe. Because the whole system that has given life to all these trees and animals and human beings and so on and so forth is the mother of love, is the instigator, is where everything is developed, grown, and is created. That's where the love is. So you must be 100% sure that you're loved. You're loved by a bigger thing than your parents. If you didn't receive love from parents through your parents, it doesn't mean you haven't received love from the actual source, which is the universe. You just didn't receive love from those people who lacked understanding of what love is to give. And love is not to hold, love is to give. you know. So you focus on your connection with the nature that you're part of, your energy that is part of the universal energy that flows throughout the universe in all directions, front and back and right and left and up and down and all in between. This energy flows from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe. And it encompasses, it passes through us, it binds us, it helps us to become one with it and use its power and its energy and motivation and learn it for health and for everything else that we want to accomplish in life. That's where the love constantly coming to you. So you're never lonely. You're one with the nature, part of the nature. How can you be lonely? You're part of this life. And you're only sticking to, these two people didn't give me love. How could those two people be the whole expectation or limit of love that one can receive? So are you telling me that people who receive love from their parents, then there's nothing else that they should or could receive love from? That's the end of it? That's the whole limit of love that one can receive? What about the love of understanding life itself? The magic and mystery of life, being one with the nature, understanding the energy that flows through the universe and through us, and becoming one with that. You will soon see that you're not alone. You may feel lonely, but that doesn't mean you're alone. It just means you don't have anything to do, or you haven't focused on some project or something that you're interested at that moment. But you cannot feel you're lonely, because it is not true. The truth is that we are part of this whole nature, part of this universe. And whether you want it or not, you're surrounded and embraced and hugged with all this energy that gives life. So, I want you to focus on that. You are now a source of love yourself, because you can get all these energy and love that you receive from the universe and expand it and extend it to the ones that, or projects or things that you are interested in and care about, including yourself. It's always a good idea, before you want to sleep, stand in front of the mirror, smile at yourself, and say, you're a good person. I love you. It's a wonderful feeling. And when you want to make sure that you help and encourage yourself to do something or not to do something, you can always go in front of the mirror and tell yourself in second person. Like, don't say in front of the mirror, say, I am good. You say, you are good, because you want this energy be seen from a second person coming to you, which is yourself. But it's a trick that helps you to realize there is an energy that you may not yet notice you have it. But when you do it in front of the mirror, you can see, envision actually a picture in the mirror, another person, even though it's you, is sending you a certain kind of a word that carries certain kind of energy. And your finger having a positive energy when you say that, you're a good person, you've done well. Or if you want to stop smoking, for example, I don't know, somebody smokes, you say, you don't want to smoke. You don't like smoking. Good people, healthy people will not smoke. So you're actually extending positive in inputting that idea in yourself. Same thing when you want to say good things about yourself. You're a wonderful person. I love you. You've done good. Then you go to sleep. Simple. You change your consciousness. So, let's see. Adarsh Sakar says, have you ever compared two women in your life? We're always comparing everybody, right? Aren't we? Comparing ourselves constantly. But when it comes to women, hardly you would compare, unless you're going out with 2-3 women at the same time, or you know a bunch of candidates who they all seem to be paying attention to you or interested in you, then you start comparing. Otherwise, it's not a good idea to compare them, because each are unique in their own ways. You know, if you're comparing, what are you comparing? The physical attributes? That's, everybody's different. There's no comparison there. Everybody has, you know, this and that differently. But if you're comparing their consciousness, their interaction with you, the way they live, their lifestyle, their thinking, well, then you will see which one is more compatible to you. That's how you would do it if you do it. El Haj says, hello sir. Hello El Haj. Oh, what happened? Jack says, if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not ready for a new relationship yet. I'm too focused on myself and my goals. Great. No problems. Often that is happening, and that's a very good thing. There's always going to be time when if you meet the right girl that you want to get to know more, that's the time you would actually find time, and you will not say, I'm too focused on myself. So when you say I'm too focused on myself, that means there's no one that you really want to write home about, and you're fine. So continue on your own journey until things seem to be different. David Homuet, that's the first time I think, that's the last name I hear. Caribbean, I'm 38 years, she is 35. Known each other for 9 years, married nearly 4 years. What a wonderful way of bringing me up to speed. Good. One day she left. Contact became less and less, and now no contact. Ignores messages. Fine. You should not have an expectation just because it's been 4 years and because you had some ideas and had your comfort zone that this should last. Things change. People change. The problem is that when things change, you accept it. Even when someone, a family member, or someone that you cared about or you knew, a friend, dies, you accept it. But when someone severs a relationship or change happens in her or in him, that she or he decides want to go a different path or be interested in something else, you take that as if it should never happen. You take it personal. Oh, is it me? Something wrong with me? Why would it be anything wrong with you? Just because somebody changed her opinion or her ways or her decision to continue a relationship with you or not? Who died and left her in charge of your worth and value that you think, oh, it's a disaster now? So what? Accept that she's changed. And when she's changed, she's no longer the girl that you fell in love with. She's no longer the girl that you had things in common with. Why? Because she's changed. And what you liked was who she was, how she was before she changed. Now that she's changed, that means she's no longer what you were fond of. Because you were fond of that what she was before she changed. If she was like the way she is now, then when you guys met, you wouldn't want to be with her. Because she would not be who she was. She would be this, which this is a changed version of her, and you wouldn't want to be with this one because that's not your taste and preferences. So why don't you accept that? You treat her like somebody in the street that you'd meet and is having the way of reaction that this girl now is doing with you. Would you still pursue that one? No, because she's not responding text, she's not having compatibility with you, and things about her that you don't like anymore. Just like your ex now doing. So you would accept and stop pursuing that new girl that you just met, which is behaving just like your ex right now. But you're still hanging around to the ex. Why don't you expect that she's changed? You expect their behavior as it is, but you don't expect her behavior as it is. Why? Because you're looking at her with the eye of the past. You're not really seeing who she is now, which is unpalatable, not something that you want to be around with. You're looking at her, and because her physical shape is still the same as before, then you think of her as how she was in the past, in your memory. So you're looking at her with the eye of the past, and that doesn't let you see the real her, who she is now, which then you would easily disqualify, and that would set you free. So let's go to, I think that would be something for you to ponder. And Dawn says, hi, lovely Mehran. Hello, lovely Dawn. Thank you for the kind, warm words. Hope you're well. Thank you again. Let me just have a sip of tea, then I think I would be better. says, hello Mehran, hello Rob, good to see you. Rob says, from London, I'm 24, Mehran, for some reason I did not have a girlfriend for some time. That's all right, it happens to all of us. We may not find it suitable, or we may be expecting some high standards or different standards that we haven't met. Or perhaps we're not really sure that we want to spend that time or energy. And maybe there are things that we're concerned about, our work, our job, money, time, things we want to accomplish. And we don't think we can really, deal with things that it's so uncertain, which comes from another human being, and she may be in a different, mode, and you don't want to have to deal with something while you're trying to sort out other things in your life. It's perfectly normal. Nobody says you should have a girlfriend all the time. So he says, I didn't have a girlfriend for some time, and yet now I feel that I don't even want to pursue them from start all over again. Why is this? Because you're lazy. You think that you don't want to put an effort to go through all that journey, and then being disappointed because the last relationship eventually, after putting so much time and energy, broke up, and she broke your heart or ended up not being suitable, or for whatever reason you think it's all going to be, if it's going to be all that, then why should it? That means you're projecting your mind into some result that is not proven that it'll be, but you've accepted it to be the end result of a relationship, of certain something, pursuing certain something. And then you already have remedied it for not being there and dealing with that kind of a nonsense and putting yourself in that kind of a drama or situation, predicament. You decided to solve it now. Before it has even happened, you're bringing solution, and the solution is, I don't even want to have it. It's like thinking that I don't want to go horseback riding because you know what? I get on the horse and the horse does this, and I go that, and then it jumps this way, and I can't lose my balance, and I fall, and it kicks me, and then, oh shit. You see all that pictorials, and you say, the hell with it, I don't even want to ride a horse. I don't even want to pat a horse. I don't even want to see a horse. Why? Because you're not focusing on the relationship, what it can be, what other scenarios it could be, what pleasantry it could have, what experience it could have. You have made your mind, through the allowing your mind to run with it and create a certain kind of outcome, and then you see that outcome is negative, and you decided that all outcomes in that activity is going to be like that. Therefore, the solution to that, not having to go there, ending up like that, I don't want it at all. Don't be lazy. Understand, not all horses are the same. One horse may buck you, and the other horse may be very in harmony with you, and you will enjoy equestrian experience and so on and so forth. And that doesn't mean to demean girls or compare them to the horses. Mind you, I love horses and I hold them very high. When I see a horse, I think I see a member of my family. That's how much I love him. So definitely not meant to demean anybody, but it tries to portray and show you what I mean. Not every woman is the same. Not every girl believes, behaves, thinks the same way, the same fashion. And there are different ways they deal with life. Through a courtship, you got to find out if you guys are harmonious, are compatible, can help each other, can build something together, or one person wants to sit and the other person build. You will see that. You say, no, I don't want that. Then you change to another, because every girl and every relationship have different possibilities. You cannot believe that that is the end result of everything. Oh my goodness, somebody gave us money, guys. Well, how do you want to spend this? Whoever it was, the channel appreciates. Very good. Why not? It's not a first. It's the third time that we see this phenomena here, but that's all good. Let me see. Let me follow and see. Why doesn't it show me who it is? Ah, there it is. Whisper. That's the symbol. Whisper. So what does that mean when somebody sends money? Is it customary to attend to that question? Is it? Or is it just a gesture of appreciation of some kind for supporting the channel? So you guys let me know. what do you expect when you send money? Do you mean you want your question attended to, and is it something that everybody is okay with? Is that how we should go for this thing, to give priority to when the some kind of a gift is sent through for the channel? How do you guys feel about this? So let me now, while we answer that, let's go to Whisper anyhow. But Whisper, wait a second, let me finish Robert's question. So Rob continues and says, I feel I'm boring to them. Oh, you think of a shortcoming. You're boring to them. Why? Because you constantly try to entertain them. You want to prove yourself. You want to get their affirmation. My suggestion to you is stop looking for affirmation. Stop entertaining them. Just be yourself. If it's funny, be funny. Don't be funny so they will laugh, they will like you. Just interact. Another human being who happens to be a female that you like to get to know because she's a female. Special. That's what your gender is. That's what your program is. You're a heterosexual male. You love women, and that's exciting. But don't try to become a clown or become an entertainment and thinking that the girls are looking for someone who make them laugh. Well, that's fine and dandy. Everybody likes someone everybody likes to laugh. But that's not supposed to be your job. And if someone is your girlfriend or is candidate for such a relationship, expects you to be entertaining her, well, she can simply pack up and go, because that's not the reality. You got to be yourself. Sometimes things happen that you guys laugh about it or joke about it or clown around about it, and other times it's just a little bit more serious, or it's sports activities, life activities. It has to be a balance. So be yourself, and in that way you won't feel that you're boring, because you're not trying to satisfy or please or perform. It's not a theater. You will not feel pressured. Rob continues, as I can't offer too much of things to do, as it's not many places to go without car, and I still don't have a car, so I feel left out from someone having a girlfriend. Oh, so you think they will have a relationship with your vehicle? That's how you think. Girls who actually like someone, it should be a girl who's not looking for a taxi driver or a commuting apparatus or someone who's going to take her for fun. That's part of the relationship, but shouldn't be the whole intention of a woman to want to be choose her boyfriend just because she can have fun with it. If that's the kind of girl, you don't want that kind of girl anyhow. So don't give yourself a handicap. I don't have a car. That's an excuse. You think every girl who's with every guy and every guy who's with every girl, they have a car? The connection happens not based on what you're driving or what you're wearing. It happens with what you're communicating, how you're communicating with each other. You know, what things you have in common. And that has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has nothing to do with what you're driving. So be clear on that. There is nothing that you have, that you have shortcomings with as far as linking it to a car or money and this and that. Just be pleasant, be yourself. Your biggest asset is your mind, and use that to exchange and interchange and communicate and interact with them. That's where you should be starting. Now, let's go to the money. Whisper says, exactly. I'm taking things slow. I cannot trust another person so easy after the 10 years of marriage. Okay. Whisper, I'm confused. I don't still know where you're tuning in from and how old you are and if you're a man or a woman. That kind of helps me out, give me a little background so I can follow your comments a little bit closer. So let me read that again. Whisper says, exactly, I'm taking things slow. I cannot trust another person. Okay, good. Yeah, I remember that discussion. So easily after 10 years of marriage. Yes, yeah, okay. I understand that. I understand why my marriage failed, and remember, I'm learning from you, so I have good guidance. Okay, all right. I'm glad that you feel that way and it's beneficial to you. Whisper says, I'm only dating and chatting, not starting new relationship. Thank you for your words. My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel. And thank you for the support that you sent for the channel. Murray, good day all. Hello Murray, hope you're well. Kalani, Mehran, my brother, he says, hope your day is going well. My day is good because I'm talking to you guys, and that the Hurricane Lane has broken weak and no longer a threat, even though still Oahu is on alert. But thankfully it passed between Hawaii Island and Maui, between the crack of the two islands, and went in the back of it and dumped the rain in the ocean, and hardly hit Maui with any super strong wind. So, and I hear that is weakened now, that is reaching Oahu, and maybe you can update me on that from your local experience there. I hope that is all over and you guys are just getting a bunch of rain without much trouble. I've been following it very closely, and I think your mayor has everything in good hands. Sandeep says, oh, wait, I jumped here. I jumped. Okay, we have 23 people watching now. Whisper was telling me 16. I think that was a while back. I guess I just got to that. So please, the 23 people who are here, make sure you click on like if you like the live streaming so far, because that will help us to be more recognized on YouTube. And I can see there are 23 of us here. So when I upload this and I see less than 23 likes, I'm going to have an issue with that. So... Derek says, hey Mehran, hello Derek, how are you? Ra, you have been absent for ages. She says, hello my dear Mehran, hello dear Ra, where have you been? Ra says, your words like gold for me. Oh my goodness, I'm so thankful, and so my head is a little bit too big right now. Just allow me have a little bit tea. Maybe that will bring me back to earth. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Ra continues, says, thank you for all your time and effort that you are depositing for all who are listening to your words that you collected in many years. My pleasure, Ra. Thank you very much for appreciating, enjoying it, and joining us and allowing me to share these little things that I know and with you guys, with all of you. Again, glad to see you here. You've been absent for a long time. Hope all is well with you. Elhaj says, what do you think about being with a girl who treats you good? It's like asking me, what do you think if you're in paradise? What's wrong with that? Is that a question, or is it a is it a kind of a, you know, a test? Oh, there's a rest of the question. Let's see. Let me read the whole thing. What do you think about being with a girl who treats you good, but you are not 100% attracted to her? Oh, so what you mean is you're not 100% attracted to her physically, because obviously when she treats you good, that's the attraction, that the height of the attraction any man can have toward a woman, when she's proper, she's kind, she's attentive, she's loving, she's nurturing, she's supportive, treating you good. What else do you want? Now, so your question is, what if you're not physically attracted to her? Now let's reverse the question. What if you are physically head over heels in lust and attracted to this girl, but she's a real asshole? She doesn't treat you well, she doesn't care, she's not cordial, she's not proper, she's this and that, so forth. What about that? What would you say? The problem is that because pleasure is the center of your life, everything you do in life is because of pleasure, and from pleasure, fear and many other things come about, which we've discussed in other videos. You pursue pleasure and you see the physical appearance of her and the attractiveness of her because it gives you pleasure, and you have a hard time to recognize that that by itself is not enough to qualify her. But because there's a pleasure, physical pleasure in it, it's recognizable, it's tangible in a way, it's felt easily, and it, tickles your fancy, and that is what you really live every day to acquire, find, experience pleasure. Then you think that the physical pleasure part should outrank the real thing that you can use and build something in life with, which is her manners, her class, her abilities to deal with life, the way she treats you. But you don't focus on that because there's no immediate pleasure from all those behavior. You're focused on the sex, the intimacy, how you're turned on. That's part of the pleasure. That's a big pleasure, one of the biggest pleasures. And then therefore you think that is what actually is you're looking for. In fact, when you have a girl that is really pretty and it turns you on like nuts, but you find after a while you're not happy with her, and you keep questioning yourself, why am I not happy? She's gorgeous. Because it is not the physical attributes that makes you feel content and psychologically secure and loving that relationship and being able to build on it, nurture it, and develop and expand on it. You cannot have a relationship with pretty. You cannot have a relationship based on physical attributes. It's the same way if you turn it the other way around. Let's imagine the beauty of a woman equals the money of the man. Just for the sake, let's don't fly with it as, oh, this is this, and no. Just listen. If the beauty of a woman, if the woman's, let's say, attraction, one of the main attractions, immediate attraction, is the beauty as an asset, and let's say then the guy's, for the sake of argument here, the guy's major asset is the money that he has. Now, there are many women who marry a guy with lots of money thinking, well, the guy is successful then, and he's okay, they qualify him. They feel he's fine. Oh, he's funny, he's an ass. But when they get married or they're together, they say the guy's an asshole. And even though he is wealthy, they see that they cannot live with this guy. They cannot, hang around this guy. They will sever the relationship eventually. And they're okay with that. But because your part of the game is that you are choosing her, and from what you think her biggest asset is, you get pleasure from, it's harder for you to sever the relationship. You're hooked on that pleasure, feel-good thing that you receive from her. The intimacy, the sex, the whole ego that you walk with some pretty girl and how others will look at you and think of you, how more you are, how big you are, fluffs your ego. All of that benefits that you receive makes you not able to sever it easily. But the girl who sees the biggest asset of the guy being, for this conversation, sake of this conversation, being the money that the guy had, after a while, seeing that the guy is an asshole, she will have no problem to let go. At least not as big a problem as you would have. Why? Because she doesn't receive a physical pleasure from that money, from that biggest asset that the guy has. And that's easy for her to let it go. Now, you got to think of it in the same way that she thinks about the money of the guy, meaning it's not something you can build a life on. She knows that no matter how much money the guy has, she cannot build a life, a happy, cordial, balanced, compatible, harmonious life with it. She recognized that that ingredient is not there. The material necessary for that kind of relationship is not in the money. So she makes the decision, she severs. But you're hung up with all that ego business, a pretty girl walking by you, the intimacy, the sex, the pleasure. You can't move away. But you gotta also realize you can't build a relationship on pretty, on sex. It doesn't matter who it is, how great the sex is. After a while, it's no longer that great because there is no substance coming from the consciousness to make that supercharge that whole experience of intimacy. It becomes something like you're not really, you can't see it because there's, the actuality is that it's the energy that you're having sex with. It may look like that it's the physical interaction, and it's true, but ultimately when that physical novelness runs out, you will see with the same pretty girl, she hasn't changed, she's still pretty, but you don't have the same pleasure from that sex. Why? Because the energy is not there. The manners, morals, compatibility, harmonious way. It doesn't have the exchange of the kind of quality of the energy that would make that sex to be just like it was at first days. But now that you've had the sex, but there's no energy with it, it doesn't feel as good anymore either. So you need to understand all these things, then you'll be fine. Where was I? So if you understand all that, then you wouldn't be so hung up if she's physically perfect or not. Because if she was physically perfect, but not have all these good manners that you talk about, you would have the same question. What do you do if a girl is really pretty but doesn't treat you right? Well, the same answer. It has to be a balance. So look for balance. Not 100% here of this part, the pretty part that you should be concerned about, and not a perfection of everything to be just as you want it, like her attitude and manner be 100% compliance. A balance. And then build on that. Whatever is missing between both of you, you can build and advance and grow on that. I hope that's something for you to think about. And Whispers kindly reminding people to please hit the like button. Good. Raf says, I remember you saying we always think of our last partner. But if I'm not ready to move on to someone else or don't find anyone for a long time, how else do I not keep referring to them in my mind? I lost the last part of the question. Referring to them, who is them? You mean, please rephrase that, Raf, because I understand what you're trying to say, but at the end, I'm lost. How else do I keep referring to them in my mind? Referring who? The new girls? What do you mean referring? Your ex? Not clear. So I move on. Jesse says, your answer touched me. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. My pleasure. I don't remember what I said because I talked a lot, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Tea time for a second. Swadeep Singh says, hey Mehran, 29 male India. Thank you for letting me know that. I had a bad end to a great relationship. Well, when a relationship is destined to, or it ends up being severed, that's not a bad end. It's the beginning of something new. You cannot start something better if you haven't ended something that wasn't working. So regardless, well, you said bad end because you're looking at it still at this end. You're here, but you're looking at the same relationship when it was. That's why you can't accept this. This is where the relationship is. This is the real characteristics of relationship now, here, with this, whatever is happening between you two. You can't be looking at it but perceiving it with the eye of the past, how it was. I can't believe this is what it is. No, this is what it is now. This is a relationship that is not working. Not that it's a bad end to a good relationship. It's not. Where's the good relationship? The good relationship was over there 2 years ago, or whenever it was at the beginning. No longer. This is surprising, because this by itself is an entity on its own. It's not a continuation of that relationship. Every day is a new relationship. This is not working. So why are you looking at it as if this relationship is still the same characteristics as how it was, or has the same characteristics as how it was? It's not. So it's not a good relationship. So hallelujah, should be severed. And it's time to go on and find something more suitable. Just I end a bad relationship and a great relationship. What I had a bad end to a great relationship around 8-9 back. Around 8-9 back. Are you talking to me on riddle? Is it 8-9 days, 8-9 weeks, 8-9 months, 8-9 years back? How am I afraid of relationship? Because as we talked about a similar question here today, because you're conjuring up that every relationship is going to be the same and ending up as this did, and because this was a good relationship at one time and it ended up being how it is now, and you think that we live in an absolute universe, nothing changes, so you're surprised why this changed, when you should focus on the fact that everything changes. The whole weather temperature changes from 1 hour to the other. Everything in the universe and the nature changes from 1 minute to the next, 1 day to the next. But you think you should be an anomaly away from it. A relationship should never change because it started well. Well, every relationship starts well, otherwise it never starts. But you're not supposed to expect it to be absolutely as it was all the time, because that's what you think it should be. Relationship is a road trip. It's like a train road. You know, it goes up and down, it's slow and big and fast and slow, and different sceneries pass by, and different aromas, different smell, different everything, and you can't expect the whole journey to be exactly the same as the station was. No, it's a journey, and relationship is a journey. Things can change. So it's okay. It's part of it. That's what relationship is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a relationship. You know, there's a ship at the end of it. It means it's on water. It's moving, and it's ups and down. You know, you can think of it that way. I just made that up. But really, relationship. It's a ship. It's on water. It's unstable. So expect that. Then you'll be okay. Say, don't want to go in a committed relationship. Is it normal feeling? Yes, it's normal feeling, but it's a lazy feeling. Come on, this is what relationship is. Go in, start digging again. What do? You dig, you find some gold, and then you dig more, there's no gold. You say, oh shit, I don't want to dig anymore, because eventually I may find gold, but then there is no gold. So I don't want it to be there's no gold. I want to keep digging and keep finding gold every dig. It doesn't happen. You dig, there's one piece of gold, you find it, then you dig, there's no more. Then you dig another hole. Maybe you will find. That's the journey to find gold. You can't expect, oh, I want gold, but I don't want to dig anymore. Well, doesn't happen. You gotta dig. So go on. Don't be a wuss. Go on, and you're a man. Go find another girl and talk with her and see if she qualifies, and if she finds you qualified, then enjoy life. Don't take it too seriously, like, oh, it's disrespect if I can't have this girl comply to my wishes. No, if she doesn't qualify, if you're not in harmonious or compatible, bye-bye, next one. Not the end of the world. Okay, now, let's see where I was. Whisper says, I would like to pay for your next cup of tea. Appreciation. Okay, thank you. That's actually, I did have actually one cup of tea, one cup of tea for $10 a few years ago. Because cup of tea, of course, then a regular cup of tea was like $2 or $3. But I did have a cup of tea, and the name of the tea was, I think, Rind, something Rind. It was a special tea store that I always hung around there, my meetings, or just enjoy myself and have a nice cup of tea. And it was a fancy place. But this tea, one cup, $10. It was okay. It was good. But I guess just because it was $10, I thought, oh, it must be really good. you know how it works. Anyhow, I appreciate that. The channel appreciates that. The best DVG says, Mehran, how are you so positive and so warm? Well, it's because we have 450 forest fires around BC. Is so much heat and exhaust. That's the warmth that you receive emanating from that. But thank God it's raining today and the air quality is good. And I'm delighted that, but you know, for a few days it was plus 10. You know, 1 is good air quality, 2 is good, 3 is good, 4 is moderate, 5 moderate, 6 moderate, then 7 it's red color, it's bad, high, 8 bad, 9 bad, 10 bad. Then ours was 10 plus. Worst air, they said, in the world at the moment, at that moment. So now I'm delighted that it's good. So now, getting back to your question, the best DVG says your video give me warmth and make calmer after these stress weeks after breakup. Great, I'm delighted that it has that effect on you. And the DVG says, Mehran, 23-year-old Poland, she broke up with me, but after 2 weeks, she still follows my social media. She gets mad and jealous, I think. But if I try to talk to her, she shows that she doesn't care. Well, then just block her from your social media and get her out of her cave to see her real intention. Is she playing a game, or that's it? It depends if you got the guts to sever it or not. Do you want to break up or not? If you do want to break up, then block her and let's see what she does. If she came back and starts communicating, great. If she didn't, well, you didn't want to have this kind of a relationship anyhow, this kind of a drama. So that's one thing you can do. Otherwise, you can simply, you know, send her a text, say, listen, what is it? Are we breaking up or not breaking up? If you break up, that's fine. I respect that. I appreciate that. But if there's something that is on your mind and you're concerned and we can resolve it, I'd be more than happy to entertain that as well. One way or another, we got to figure out to move on or to stay together and work it out and learn about each other's psyche in deeper content and try to build something on that. What your decision is important to me. So I want you to let me know. So in that case, if it's a yes, then we'll cordially try to rekindle and learn about each other and make a better relationship. If not, then I would like to ask you to let me know so I can, you know, sever our Facebook connection as well. So I would not hinder your life and you would not be bothered by my actions or my pursuit. And that would be just a civil way to end things. I will upload this, and if you want to use these things, you can write it down as a text and send it to her and see what happens. Perhaps that would be helpful. And then he continues, and she's being cold and don't get it. What's going on? Is she still into me and she expects some kind of action, or she just forgot me and just have some other feelings? Well, this is what you do, I think, to clarify it for yourself, because that's a question, that's an answer relies in her, and you need to you know, point blank, as I perhaps suggested. You can choose that if you want. It's not my you know, it's not like something you have to do, but it's an option, and if you want it, you can use that and text her and get to the bottom of that. Kalani says, Oahu is good, just ugly skies and rain, but was off of work for the last 3 days from the storm and plus the weekend, so I had 5 days vacation, lol. And I get paid for all my days. Oh, there you go, it's good. Omnipotent says that's superficial. I don't know what you're referring to. Again, remember guys, the protocol is to let me know where you're tuning in from, letting me know how old you are, if you're a man or woman, and what question you have. So making just a comment like that, we can't relate, nobody can, what you're meaning. Okay, let's see. The Raf says, keep referring, thinking about my ex while no one else knew is on the scene, relating to my last question. I see. So in other words, you're saying, let me go to your last question. Referring, that means rethinking, keep thinking about your ex, like you haven't forgotten about your ex. Well, yeah, okay. So let's go to Raf, the last question that he had. It says, I remember you saying we always think of our last partner, but if I'm not ready to move on to someone else or don't find anyone for a long time, how else do I not keep referring to them in my mind? I see. So you think that the way for you not to think of her is to find somebody else? Is that what you got? That's not what I meant at all. I have said and explained the reason that you think of your ex is because as a heterosexual male loving woman, you are thinking about sex, especially at that age, or any age for that matter, every 5 or 10 seconds, if you're not busy. If you're busy with a project or focusing on something or whatever activity you're doing, you wouldn't be thinking about sex, of course. But if you're not and you're hanging around, it is a very good chance that you'll be thinking about intimacy and sex every few seconds or every minute, or depending on whatever your desire. And then you would be thinking about your most recent relationship, the girl that was most recent you were in a relationship with. Otherwise, it doesn't mean that you would be thinking about her, or you should be thinking about her. It's because you think about sex all the time, then the last girl that you had a relationship with comes forefront of your mind. Now, either you understand and focus on the things that were wrong in that relationship, rather than only letting the good things come to mind and then remind you of her. When the good things come, because you think of sex, then you think of her, and then you think of the good things that was in the relationship. Right then, bring the files that contain the bad stuff of the relationship. So you won't be brainwashing yourself, conditioning yourself by constantly thinking about the good memories about her when she comes to your mind, and being conditioned to think that it was a good relationship actually. Then you wonder, why did I break up? Because you are not thinking about the relationship problems, and you're constantly focusing on the good things. That's what human being does. We only think about the good things. We try to forget about the bad things. And so you think about the good things that was in the relationship, and that, without you really focusing on it, is conditioning you to think that it was a good relationship, and you should be thinking about her, you should be missing her, because there's nothing derogatory about it. When you think of these good things about her, quickly bring the bad things that made the relationship not go well, and then that will help you to not to be so hung up on her that easily. Until then, eventually you move on and you get busy with other things in life, and then that kind of dissipates, and or you find new friends and new candidates and new girlfriends, and then the whole thing becomes just a thing of the past. Okay, now let's go back to where we were. Romana says, Salam Mehran. Oh, Salam Romana. Female 36 UK. How are you? Thank you very much, dear. We are here in nice rainy Vancouver, which I'm sure rain is not a stranger to you people in England. What are your thoughts on a rebound relationship? It's a distraction. It could turn out to be something good if you guys really move to a deeper level and get to know each other and treat each other well, not as a toy, not as a cover-up, not as a frosting on a cake, and actually pay attention to the ingredient of the cake, meaning your psyche, your consciousness, the things that makes you guys feel you have things in common or not, and getting to know each other in real sense. It may turn out to be something good, or it may not. It may fool you and you get into a relationship and getting used to the intimacy and the order of the new things, a new order with this new person, and eventually you wonder why it's not working, because it never was the right choice. It was just something to pass the time or cover the previous breakup. So I don't think too much on rebound relationship. Why do people get into them? Well, this is why I guess I answered that. Are they good? Well, I guess I answered that as well. Do they last? I guess I answered that as well. Thank you in advance. You're quite welcome. So, Whisper says, your brutal honesty is refreshing. Okay, my pleasure. I don't know which question it was, but I think I can identify with that. Muhammad says, hi Mehran, how are you doing? Thank you, Muhammad. Remember guys, I don't necessarily remember where you guys tuning in from and how old you are and so on and so forth. So help me out when you, even when you're saying hello, I like to remember. I do remember the name, the screen name, but just to know how old you are, where you're tuning in, that helps always. Ross says, I'm well, but I'm so busy with helping my husband in his business cause he got sick, so I'm helping him more than usual, and I have 2 kids. Every time when I'm getting the notification bell, I'm always busy. I can understand that, but that's life. That's life. You got to take care of business, you got to take care of things, you got to attend to your duties and responsibilities, you know, to the things that you want to pay attention to, and you're busy with it, and you got to do that, and that's all fine. Well, I'm glad that you join us whenever you can. That's always wonderful. And Muhammad says, Mehran, do you believe in MBTI model? What does that stand for? Men by the what? Oh, I don't understand what that stands for. For example, it says that some people don't have emotions, or I don't know. It says someone can't fall in love with another type of personality. Isn't this nonsense? Yeah, it's nonsense. But eventually, it's not the personality, it's how they bond on consciousness, or they don't. It's their own level of understanding of their own psyche and their interest in learning about the other person's psyche, compromising, finding things in common. All of these, it has nothing to do with the personality per se, it has to do with everything which altogether called personality. So maybe it is, in that sense, is senseful, but personality by itself, no, because 2 people could be very different, but they actually make an effort to get to know each other, be compromising, be understanding, and make an effort to know about each other's psyche and their own psyche. So that has nothing to do with their initial personality. But if all this knowledge or lack of it is part of the personality, then yeah, it does make sense. So Tuta says, looks like I'm late. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Romana said, sorry, I didn't mean to say you people. I meant why do people get into them? Apologies. Oh, Romana, let's go back to your question. Romana says, Salam Mehran, how are you? Okay, what are your thoughts on rebound relationship? Why do people, oh, do you people, oh, I see. No, I didn't even notice that. No, don't worry about it. I didn't even notice that you. So Mohammed says the personality model. Oh, I see the personality model. Yeah, okay, I think I answered that. Okay, guys, looks like that we have hit all the questions. I'm delighted that you guys shared your time with me and allowed me to share some of the things, topics together. I look forward to talk to you again. And please do share the videos you like on your social media. Help us to grow. Like the live stream before you go if you liked it. And again, help us to be more visible. If you have any connection with any news media or sites that would be interested to interview us or give us a shout out, please do make an effort on that. It'd be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, please be good to yourself and to the others. I look forward to talk to you soon, and bye for now.